Welcome to The Other Dimension with the team, Damon Penny, Ben Winfield, and Louisa Brown. We guide you through the supernatural, the occult, and the unexplained, answering questions that will make you question your grip of reality, with special guests guiding you through everything from demons to divination, cryptids to crystals, religion to skeptics. We explore in depth the true meaning of the unexplained. So strap in, kick back, and enjoy as we enter the other dimension.
Hello everybody, welcome to The Other Dimension. I'm your host, Kate. This is the mini-series, Got Stories to Tell, and today we have the wonderful Tom Nally with us. Hi Tom, thanks
Hello.
for joining.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. So Tom has a exploring channel on YouTube. It's called This is Tom's World. Could you explain a little bit about your channel? Like, what is it? What makes it different from all the other exploring channels out there?
Well, like a lot of people, I started my channel during the pandemic because there wasn't much to do. And my initial idea for the channel was I would just go into different wooded areas and explore. And that kind of got boring even for me. So I had to dig a little deeper. And now I try to find anything that has any kind of history. And if I can do research on the place and spout out the facts while I'm making the video, all the better. But there are some times where I just explore. I don't know anything about it. I'll just go in blind and just walk around. But for the most part, I try to keep on the history. My main focus of the channel has been mostly the park that I work at, Neshaminy State Park, here just outside of Philadelphia. And what started that was while I was doing my exploring of different places, I had a friend of mine say, well, you should go do Neshaminy State Park. I go there for my walks all the time. And I'm like, but there's a pool there, sure. And there's woods and there's Neshaminy Creek and there's the Delaware River. But like, what else would I do? I said, I want to find something that's a little more interesting. And then I mentioned that in one of the videos and somebody told me something about a garden that was there. I said, garden. And they mentioned Alice in Wonderland and there's a Humpty Dumpty on the wall. I said, all right, now it's intriguing.
Yeah.
So I went there to the park. I did an hour-long video searching. Hey, Jeremy. I was searching for this garden for an hour, and I was going around the whole outskirts of the entire park, which is 330 some acres long. It's not a really big state park as far as state parks go. But it took a long time to go around that. And that was the edited version. So, it was probably at least an hour and a half, 2 hours. And I didn't find the garden. So I said at the end of the video, I said, if anybody knows where this is, please let me know. And somebody said, all right, so if you park in the second parking lot, make a left, walk for about 2 minutes, you'll see the wall for the garden. I said, there's no way. So I went there and sure enough, I felt stupid because it was right there. And as soon as I walked into this place, it was like a feeling of like a storybook magic, kind of like right away.
Yeah.
Even though lots of the brick paths that were made were covered up, there was a human chessboard that was supposed to be in there that was covered up with just grass and weeds and stuff, but it still had that feeling.
Yeah.
So as I went there a couple times, I started saying in my live, I really need to try to be involved into bringing this place back. I said, there's paths, there's all kinds of stuff here that we can uncover. So I got permission from the park manager, who's now my boss. And I started to dig out one area of the chessboard once I found it.
Yeah.
And when I came back for the second day, and you could go through my videos, anybody watching this, and you could see like on day 2 of the garden restoration, the shock on my face, the amazement that when I got there, some of the squares were uncovered. So I thought maybe the maintenance guys did this. It had to be them. Yeah. No, I asked. They said no. The park manager knew nothing about it. And it turned out I had little helpers. I said, okay, well, this will go a lot faster that way.
Yeah.
The park manager reached out to them, said, listen, if you're going to do this, you got to become a volunteer. We already have one volunteer. He's going to be the lead volunteer. and you guys are just going to be following his instructions and stuff. Long story short with that, after many videos of a lot of hard work in the hot sun in the summer, we uncovered every path. We uncovered the chessboard. Somebody donated sod, because the chessboard is made up of brick squares and grass squares, kind of like chessboard would be like black and white or whatever, or black and red.
Oh, that's
black
really
and red.
clever. Yeah.
So somebody donated the grass, a local landscaper, and we planted it down, and people have been loving this garden ever since. There's people that have been walking there for decades, because this place has been open since like 1970, 71. And they say, for as long as I've been going there, I never even seen this thing. I didn't even know it existed. And everybody wanted to help out. I got tons of offers to become volunteers. Nobody ever follows through, but the offer is there, and it's nice. So this is what started me on the rest of the channel, because I started seeing the feedback that I was getting from people and the love that I was getting from people. I started a GoFundMe to have money to buy plants and stuff like that, flowers. And I was able to raise over $2,000 with all the people that were, like watching the videos, all the local people.
Wow.
And then I got offered a job there, which meant I had to step down from being a volunteer, and I had to give that money over to the other volunteers to spend. They haven't even gone anywhere near through even an eighth of it yet. So they still have plenty of money, and I'm curious to see what they do with it.
Yeah.
I do still talk to them when I see them. I just haven't seen them since middle of summer or so. Because our schedules don't jive. They go one day a week. But so the channel then started to change. I started to get a little bit more, I don't want to say professional, because I'm just myself in the videos. And anybody from the Things Network that has watched me on Fear Fans, I'm not necessarily professional. I'm not camera shy, but I'm not professional. But I don't know. It just took on a different feel at that point for me. I got more involved in it. I started searching things further out than just the little county outside of Philadelphia where I had been doing videos.
Yeah.
And I did videos within my area of Philadelphia, the far northeast. And I started getting recognition from people. People were taking bits of my video and using it in their video and giving me credit for it. And not to mention that I also have the online presence of being on different live feeds, not only for my own channel, but as I mentioned, on Things Network with Fear Fans. A friend of mine, Dom, who you got to meet the other night, he and we run our own little network called BB3 TV. And I've had a lot of on-camera time there. Even before that, I was doing that on different networks. So it's easy for me to just sit here and talk to a camera and keep looking at comments and stuff like that. I'm used to it all at this point. But it also transpires into my videos. Sometimes I babble in my videos, and I tend to edit a lot of that out. So anybody that watches my videos and you think, man, he's just babbling on, well, be glad that I edited out the rest of it. Because I do tend to do that, as I am now.
Well, I have to say, I have watched a lot of your videos, and one thing that strikes me about it is that I don't think you talk too much at all. I think everything that you say is very relevant, as you said, because you do your background research and you look at the history and you pay attention to detail that we wouldn't see if we were just looking with you, which is really, really good. Right. And I just love the fact that we really feel with you in the video. It's like we're going for a walk together and you're just mentioning things and we get to see everything. I mean, the camera work isn't shaky or...
there's a reason for that.
Do you have one of the...
I have a gimbal.
A gimbal. Okay.
So it's a 3-axle gimbal. So it turns on 3 different axes. Yeah. And it helps keep it steady. I just use my phone for my videos. I was just holding the phone like this.
Oh, no way.
But then I started realizing, as I was walking, you could, you could see the bounce of my walk. You could sometimes, if I've been holding it up too long, you'll start seeing it jitters and shakes and stuff. So I did a little research to see what I could do, within reason as far as money. to stabilize that. And I came across this DJI Osmo Mobile 3 is what I have. They have newer ones than that now. But it's got gears and everything. You charge it up. It's got a program that comes with it if you want to use it. I don't. But no matter which way I turn, so like I can have the phone here. No matter which way I turn, I can have the phone just stay stationary.
Oh, that's amazing.
So it makes it a lot better. And then once I discovered that my phone actually had 4K on it, that changed the game too. So now my videos are all in 4K.
That's great, because that's really important to some people, isn't it?
Yeah, the high quality
in this game. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
That way people can download the videos if they wanted to use them, as long as they give me credit and stuff like that. I mean, they don't technically have to, I guess, legally, but it would, it's nice if they do. But they can then, make it any size that they need to. Like if they're doing like a 1080p as far as their quality, then this is not going to be a problem for them.
Yeah, sure. No, that's true. One of the things I like as well is that you don't put the camera always on yourself, because I have noticed a lot of explorers and investigators, they're just kind of filming themselves walking, and it's like, I want to see what's ahead of you. I want to see what's around you. I don't want to stare at your face the whole time. So
yeah, I actually do less than I used to. If you look at my earlier videos, I mean, there might be times where I'll turn the camera on me. Like I can recall one time within the last year or so, I was walking down to a creek and my hoodie got caught on a bunch of thorns, and I was trying hard to get it out, but then I showed everybody, so I turned it on me and you could see it. Little things like that. But in my older videos, you used to see my face at the beginning and at the end of every video. And then I cut out the ending part. So all you see is just the greeting. So what they call the hook in YouTube. So that like I can connect eyes with the camera so that whoever's watching it feels like I'm looking at them and talking directly to them. And say where we're at, what we're going to see and stuff like that. And then bam, just go right into the action.
Yeah, I think that's important for engagement, as you said, with the audience and everything. I just have to say one thing. Everybody watching, it's really, really nice to see you guys. Could you comment? Because I've only got Jeremy's comment and that's it. I don't have any other comments. So now I'm worried. I'm like, oh, the comments working? I don't know.
They're
hello,
working.
Everyone. Hi. And now there are 8K cameras out there.
Oh, God. Just when I get caught up,
Yeah. Possibly 3D at some point as well.
Oh, that would be great.
Hi, Nigel. Thanks.
Hey, Nigel.
Thanks for tuning in. So yeah, great. I have a few questions actually about this secret garden that you came across. Nigel's asking, how are you doing today? We're good. Good.
Now that I'm home.
How are you doing? Yeah. I think it's so nice with that garden and you finding it. I kind of labeled it the secret garden, because as a community coming together and doing that's just incredible. Yeah. But you said the guy is now your boss, so you now work there, and do you not think that's almost fate that you were supposed to work there?
I do, and this kind of goes back to and I know I'm going to kind of be stepping on a question that you'll be asking at some point. What kind of just the subject matter of my dad's twin brother who had passed away some time ago, and one of the last conversations we had, I was looking for a job at the time and I was struggling to find one. And his words echoed in my head years and years later after I got this job. He said, why don't you try like volunteering somewhere? He said, I know you're not going to get paid, but it looks really good on your resume and you never know where it could lead.
Wow.
I volunteered at the garden and now I take care of the entire park and I get paid for it.
That's incredible. Like, honestly, that is such a coincidence. And how, like, you couldn't even make that stuff up. That's insane. Yeah.
Yeah, I still hear him saying it every day when I'm there at some point. It's like, I know. Here I am.
He's really looking after you, isn't he? Definitely.
It feels that way sometimes, yeah.
That's lovely. Oh, hi, Hugh. Nice to see you.
Hugh is an awesome name. That was my grandfather's name and my uncle's name.
Oh, nice.
Not the uncle that passed away.
Okay. Oh, it is a really cool name. I think is it British Hugh? Let us know if it's like British
Sure,
or
what the origin is.
origins. Yeah, it's a cool name.
Mm,
I just want to say you have 1.8K subscribers
just
now. Am
about.
I right? I mean,
Yep.
that's a substantial amount for
It took
starting out.
4 years.
Yeah. Well, I hope you just keep getting more and more because it's a great channel. It really
Yeah.
is.
The
Very
momentum
interesting.
is building because it took me 3 years to get to 1,000. And now since
Yeah.
then, I'm almost up to another 1,000 in, hey, Hugh, in like almost a year
Right.
more.
Wow. So it's
So
getting more. Yeah.
yeah, and I like that. I like the momentum. I like more and more people seeing it because the whole reason that I do like to go to places that like might have ruins or something like that, even the state park, we never really know how long things are going to be there.
Yeah.
Um, Case in point, a place that I went to quite a bit in my videos, not far from my house. It's called Dinosaur Lake. It was a man-made lake with an island in the middle that had like cement dinosaurs on them, and it was like a really well-known place back in the 60s, 50s. Boy Scouts used to go there and stuff like that and camp. They'd ice skate on the lake in the winter, which it doesn't get cold enough for that to happen around here anymore. But
No.
the lake over the years it turned like a blackish color,
Oh.
pollution and stuff like that. The dinosaurs were long gone, destroyed and stuff like that. But I was still going there a lot, and I was documenting what was left. And
Yeah.
then back in the summer of 2021, around August, September, we had a tornado come through here, which is not normal for this area.
Wow.
And when it came through, there was like a thin wall that separated between the lake and the creek that ran alongside of it. And that tornado blew out the wall. The lake
Oh my
drained, and now there's
goodness.
nothing left of it. But I happen to have a bunch of footage of it, so and that's another reason I like to do this, to capture what's left or to
Yeah.
educate the local people on history that they may not know that's been right in front of them their whole lives.
Yeah, because if this isn't documented, how would they know? And what
Exactly.
better place than on YouTube for sharing that sort of stuff?
And then I share the link
Definitely.
into all the various groups for that area and stuff, so it's like right in their face, and and then they got to watch it and they go, oh wow, that's really neat, that's cool,
Yeah, that is.
let me hit subscribe.
Yeah, no, that's great, definitely. Um, I also wanted to ask you what actually influenced you. Have you always just liked exploring and being outdoors? I mean, you've got a very outdoorsy job now,
Yeah.
and with the channel and everything. Is it like a childhood thing?
I always like going for walks in the woods and stuff. I didn't always have a job outdoors. I actually had a lot of jobs just sitting in front of a computer like this for quite some
Okay.
time, until I fell behind in the technology and couldn't do it anymore, and I just started looking for regular jobs. But for quite a few years now, I would take walks at least once a week in the
Mm.
same wooded area. I'd go there with my coffee in the morning, and I would just take pictures and put them up on my Facebook.
Oh,
And uh, one time I took some video and I did it in HD. And somebody said, "Wow, that's really cool. You should do more of these." And I said, "All right." So like every once in a while, I do another video, and then somebody said, "You should put a compilation together and put it on YouTube." And I went, I don't really feel like getting into YouTube and all that stuff.
yeah.
And
Famous last words.
yeah, when the pandemic hit, I was watching a lot of YouTube,
Right.
while I was trapped in the house. And one in particular that I'd been watching since I started watching YouTube, this guy called Adam the Woo. He also has
Okay.
the Daily Woo. He's pretty well known, and he would do exploring in like towns that time forgot kind of thing. I mean, he does a lot of other stuff. He goes to Disney World a
Mm,
lot. He goes to baseball games and stuff. But I especially like the exploration videos, especially small towns and stuff.
yeah.
And I thought, wow, I said I can do that. I mean, he's just
Yeah.
talking to the camera, and I mean, people look at you weird, but not anymore,
Yeah.
really, because people are used to it now. But back
Yeah.
in 2020, it was a little, you didn't really see it too much.
Mm,
Um, but so I decided to give it a shot. I did a test video first in that same park that I used to walk in all the time, and then I did a full length one. and you could tell I was a little nervous. You know,
Yeah.
I always start all of my videos with, you know, hey everyone, and welcome to another installment of Tom's World. That first one, it was, you know, nervous and a weird angle shot from down up, and I'm like, hey everyone, and welcome to the first installment of This Is Tom's World. Or no, I just said
Aw.
Tom's World because it wasn't This Is Tom's World at the time.
Yeah.
And it, you know, I got used to it as I made the video there, and you could hear the transition when I got more comfortable. But you know, the first couple videos were a little weird because they were also filmed on an old digital camera, because my phone at the time had a crack going across the camera lens, so I couldn't use that. So I had to dig out this present I got in 2007, and it worked.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
first show is always awkward. That's very true.
my first live feed I did all by myself, like without other people there. That was definitely awkward. I did it for another network some time ago, and I was just like, all right, well, here I am.
Yeah, that must be weird because it's just you. Because,
Yeah.
you know, when you do lives, you usually are with other people and
Yep.
you kind of have a topic to talk about. But yeah, when you're just by yourself on a live, it just must be like just waiting for comments.
Yeah, pretty
Hi.
much. And that's how it is every time too. So you just kind of, like, say I like last night I did my live feed on my channel, just to kill time and also to promote this interview. And so if anybody is here from my channel, make sure you say hi in the comments.
Yeah, definitely.
But in the beginning, you just kind of talk, you know, and you
Yeah.
keep looking over at the comments. And then finally, you'll get one, or you'll see how many people up in the corner, like how many people are watching and stuff. And you're thinking, why aren't you people commenting? What the heck's going on? And so I always try to engage everybody. And I said, well, I see there's, you know, a few people here. Make sure you say hi in the chat so I know who you are. And, you know, I can, you know, I'll customize the talking points to whoever is there if I happen to know what they like or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And Jeremy's put here, well, you've got a few viewers, just no one commenting. That happens all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. The lurkers, they're just checking you out, Tom.
Yeah, well, you know, I understand, you know, it's a pretty face, you know, it's.
Oh, thanks, you. He will check out your channel, Tom. That's
Oh,
great.
awesome. Yeah, it's This Is Tom's World. So you could look that up, or you could just youtube.com/This Is Tom's World, all one word, no punctuation, no spaces, no nothing. It'll come up.
Definitely.
You'll see this symbol. That's my channel.
It's a great symbol. Definitely.
Well, I can thank another friend for making that. He actually helped me with the name of This Is Tom's World. Hey, well, that's what this interview is about. But my friend Kenny Biddle, who is known locally in the paranormal field, mostly because he's a skeptic, but he's a skeptic that all the people in paranormal love, you know, because he doesn't, he's not ornery about it or anything like that. You know, he genuinely wants to see real proof of paranormal that he cannot explain.
Yeah.
Problem is, he's seen so much stuff, he knows how to explain it all. So, but he helped me out.
I would like to meet him. He sounds like my
Kenny Biddle. He's good. He's a good guy. Yeah. He does his own live feed once a week. He calls it the what is it? The Skeptical Help Bar, something like that. He takes like the whole outside like of the stream looks like the in Peanuts, like Charlie Brown and Lucy, like when Lucy did the psychiatrist thing, like it looks like that around his, and it's pretty cool.
Like the help stand
kind
of thing.
And he actually has a physical one that he had made for him too. So when he goes out to conventions and stuff, he has that there. And he always gets a long line of people to talk to him too.
Yeah.
But he and I were talking, and I said, listen, I finally got to 100 subscribers long ago, which meant that I was able to have my own unique URL. Because when you start YouTube, it's just youtube.com/ a bunch of letters and numbers and stuff like that. Yeah. But then you could make it, and I couldn't make it Tom's World because it was already taken.
Oh.
I said, so I've been struggling, you know, exploring with Tom's World, exploring, we were back and forth.
There's a lot of names of exploring in there, isn't there? Yeah.
So he said, well, how about This Is Tom's World? And he said, here, I already made the logo and the cover art and everything. I said, what? And he sent it to me. I was like, oh
Oh,
my God. I changed the cover art over time, but I kept the font that he used, which I think is pretty cool because it's called Demon Priest.
oh wow.
Um,
That's a
it,
cool name to have.
yeah, and nobody else is using that font that I can tell. There's some that are similar,
Yeah.
but I thought it was really cool, and I
Oh.
appreciate that he helped me out with that, and the name has stuck all this time.
Yeah, it's a good name,
Yeah.
definitely, because it's different than all the others. Exploring with blah 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 blah
Yep.
explores, and yeah, you got to be different in this game. It's not easy. I
You have to
understand.
stand out as best you can,
Yes. Yeah.
and it's always
Totally.
great when you're out somewhere. It's a real ego boost. Like when somebody goes, "Hey, I love your videos," or "I watch all your videos," or "Aren't you Tom?" Or it's like, "Yeah,
Oh,
yeah."
that must feel amazing.
The first time it happened was weird. I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm Tom,"
Oh,
and
but
and then
then you kind of get used to it, I guess.
I early on I had a couple people that would come into the garden. They'd want to get their picture taken with me. I'm like, but I'm all dirty and scummy.
That happened with the network. We gained about 700 viewers in the first month, so I was able to get a custom URL, and then we almost all those days because our scores were nothing but spam. Oh no, we were able to keep. Okay, awesome. Yeah, interesting. And
Strange.
hi, Eric. So, has Nick's nickname for you?
Pickle Tom.
Pickle Tom. Where does Pickle Tom come from? You have to do the
So,
impression now.
well, I don't know about the impression right now. I gotta get more moisture going in my throat. I'm a little dry today.
No
It was
worries.
cold out there, but so Pickle Tom comes from we were watching a live feed and we were both commenting on it, and a story was being told about something I don't remember. It was like fiction maybe or something, and the woman that was telling it said that they would put pickles in their shoes, and we were cracking up about that, and then he just out of nowhere started calling me Pickle Tom for that, so I started calling him Pickle Nick, which is where the whole Rick and Morty thing came in because it sounds like Pickle Rick, which goes back to a Rick and Morty episode. And
That's very true. And yeah, Rick and Morty is basically the Back to the Future cartoon
yep,
version
it's
of
a
the.
weird version of them, very loosely based on them.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I mean, they kind of look a little like them. Morty's a little dorkier than
yeah,
Marty McFly was. I mean, Marty McFly was kind of cool, He rode a
yeah. He was.
skateboard.
He was
He
strong
wore a
and
life jacket,
yeah, yeah. That's true.
but yeah. So then eventually, the Rick and Morty voices worked their way in. Just one time, I was like, "Yeah, I don't really like it," and like they were losing it. They're like, "Oh my God, that's great!" I'm like, "Oh, well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it." And it just now it's
You're
like just
so
about
good
every
with
episode.
voices. Like, we need to get you a job doing
I would
voice
love that.
work. You should do cartoons and stuff. You're
I
so good
thought
at
about
that.
that years and years ago, and back then, the internet was new,
Mm.
so I looked up on my 56K modem, my little dial-up AOL thing. I looked up what you had to go through, and you had to make all these different tapes and send
Yeah.
them in, and all this other stuff. I'm sure it's a lot easier now.
I think
People can
now
just
you like join an agency online and you have like you just record yourself doing different voices, and then it's kind of a bit like they choose you because they like go through people, they see what you've done, and they
yeah,
listen to your voice, and that, so it is much harder now, but also easier to be seen, I guess. So
that would be good.
yeah,
Because
you
like
should
I've
try.
since I was a teenager, I've always well even probably before that, but I say teenager because then that's after puberty and my voice had set in. Um, and I did a lot of them. The one that I actually lost over the years that I'm sad about, Howie Mandel, back in his stand-up days, he used to
Yeah,
do a character called Bobby, and
right.
he eventually had a cartoon called Bobby's World. Not a coincidence.
Oh.
Um, that's why I started with Tom's World. Between that and Wayne's World,
Oh
But
yeah.
I used to be able to do the Bobby voice, but after years of smoking and drinking, it's kind of went. So, I
can't get there now.
I can't get that pitch anymore.
That little falsetto setting up there.
Yeah. It's I can't get it.
Chris
Which is the
says you
same.
should
I'm
become
sorry.
a
Go ahead.
comedian. No, Chris is just saying you should become a comedian. Totally.
I could. I mean, my biggest problem with that when I thought, because it was when I was a kid, if somebody asked me what I wanted to be, that was what I said. But then I realized that I had stage fright. Well, apparently that's out the window now.
Oh, that's good.
So, but it's different in front of a camera than it would be in front of an audience, with the spotlight on you and everything. So, but I don't know. Maybe one day if there's like a open mic night or something like that.
Yeah.
I would just have to prepare some stuff. I can't just on the fly.
Yeah.
But
yeah, sure. Hi, Tom.
Hey, Tom.
Another Tom, another fellow
right.
Tom there. There's Jeremy. Getting an agent is hard. Yeah, I can't even imagine how hard it is. Bobby, no. Using voices, paranormal, etc. Comedian stuff. Yeah, totally. We'd vote for you, Tom, to do that. 100%.
Well, yeah, I'd have to get a writer though to help me with the content.
I want to ask you, when you've been exploring, are there any dangerous scenarios that you've been in?
Sometimes. In the last video that the actual video that I put up, not the live feeds, and it's been a few weeks, but there's another one coming. I filmed one today. I was at an old concrete warehouse factory kind of place,
right.
and there was a hole in the ground. I mean, you could plainly see it, but if like the weeds had overgrown that area, and that does happen quite a bit,
right.
you wouldn't be able to see the hole, and that hole was really deep. Like if I'd have went down there, I'd have not been able to get out. It was like a sewer or something, and it did have water flowing through it, so I guess I could have crawled through some concrete pipes or something to get out of there. But yeah, there's always the hidden element in the woods, especially if there was some kind of structure there. You don't know what you're going to be stepping on. You might think it's just, weeds and stuff, and then your foot goes through some wood or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm always on the lookout. And what I used to do that I haven't been doing since I've been making the videos, but when I took pictures, I used to have a walking stick with me at all times. I'd always find one in the woods somewhere, but then I started bringing them home. And
like Gandalf.
Yeah. I actually it's in the car. Never mind. I actually have one that looks like a staff. Like it had like some vine growing around it at one point, so it's got this little spiral to it. And I brought it back and I put shellac on it and everything, and I worked the handle so that it was easier to hold.
Yeah.
And I had a bunch of them that I was going to do that too, but I just lost interest in that. But I don't carry them with me, and I should, because that's a good thing to test the ground in front of you.
Yeah.
Even if you're just using it like a regular walking stick, you'll feel it if something's going to give before you step on it.
Yeah.
Problem is, true. I have a water in one hand and my gimbal in the other, so I don't have another hand for a walking stick.
Do you take like a backpack or?
I don't, and I really should get one.
Yeah.
I really should.
Because you should also carry some first aid stuff in case, right? Like anything, even an alarm. If you do fall down somewhere, you can set an alarm off, or a flare or stuff like that. Because that would be awful to be stuck somewhere. Yeah. Oh, it's like my worst nightmare.
Yes, Chris, that was a butthead laugh. You probably missed it. Because you were talking about an agent and you said, and it can be really hard. And I just said, and I didn't think anybody caught it, but Chris did.
Chris is on it today.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Beavis and Butthead are in my repertoire, too.
Yeah, they certainly are. They've come up a few times in the Fear Fans, which I want to ask you about. You are a regular on the Things Network. Particularly the Fear Fans group, which is a group that have a passion for horror films and anything horror based. What top 5 horror movies would you recommend? Because I know it's a huge passion of yours and you really like horror.
Well, see, I'm very much influenced by 80s movies, 80s music, 80s TV, 80s commercials, everything. So a lot of my choices would come out of like 70s, 80s, 90s.
Right.
Um, I mean, my top horror movie has always been the Nightmare on Elm Street series of movies.
Nice.
In particular, Nightmare on Elm Street 3 was the mecca of the entire series. So definitely. Um, what else? Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh yeah, you
Uh,
mentioned that before. I
yep.
still have yet to see that because you said
It's
it's got clowns, it's got spaceships.
yep. They're from outer space and they kill people and stuff. Like they encase them in this like cotton candy pod, and then they put like a crazy straw inside the pod when they're ready, and they just suck their blood or whatever they're sucking out.
Oh my
I guess the liquid
goodness.
version of a human.
And this is from the 80s.
Yeah.
Nice.
What else? Let's see. So many to choose from.
In the notes. Oh, hi Jill. How are you doing,
Hey, Jill.
lovely? Nice to see you. Nice. Thank you so much. That's my all-time favorite movie. The clown one, I'm
Killer
guessing,
Clowns
Jeremy.
from Outer Space. Yeah. The Puppet Master series was good. I like that.
Oh, Jeremy's gone that far. He has a clown tattooed on his leg.
Oh wow. Yeah, there's some pretty notable clown faces in that one. Like there's two in particular. One was kind of like a big heavy set guy. Another one was like almost like a little person, like a I don't want to use the term, but I guess I have to. Like they call them little people or midgets or whatever. He was like that, and he had like this really big head. But in a way, they were all kind of cute to me, even though they were horrifying. Like if I'd have come across something that actually existed, I'd be scared. But as the movie goes, Shorty, that's right, that little the
his
little one I
name
was
is
talking about.
Shorty. Okay. I do have to see this film because it's got a lot of rep at the moment. So yeah, I have to go and check it out.
Yeah, I love that.
Wild Bill, how are you? Thanks for watching.
Wild Bill.
Bill is a legend. He's a regular here on The Other Dimension, and honestly,
wow.
he's an absolute legend.
Well, I'm honored to be blessed with your presence.
I haven't seen it just yet either, but I know of it. It's creepy as hell. It certainly does. And Jeremy's favorite is Ruby. He's the only one that did the animatronic at the drugstore. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know. Well, maybe I did know their names at some point. But it's been a while since I've seen it. I caught pieces of it here and there. In recent years, they've played it on Sci-Fi Channel or whatever, and I'll catch like the end of it, or I'll just see the beginning of it, and then I have to go out somewhere or something.
Yeah.
But it's a great movie.
Yeah. Okay. And what about music? Because you're really, really into heavy metal.
Well, more so as I get older. It was more heavy metal when I was younger.
Right.
What
who are we talking? Are we talking like?
Well, mainstream, Metallica. Megadeth is. I mean, I guess you could consider them heavy metal. More hard rock, but that's where like a lot of the bands that I liked were more, I guess, hard rock than they were heavy metal. But
sure.
As I've gotten older, like we'll say once I got in about my 30s, I started becoming infatuated with the music that I made fun of then, which is hairband music, like like Warrant, Winger, like any of the hairband rock bands from like the mid 80s to the mid 90s, which is pretty much when that died off. It died off really in the beginning of the 90s, but by the mid 90s there were a couple still hanging on. I mean, Motley Crue is still around.
Oh yes.
And no pun intended on Vince Neil when I say around, because the man has gotten big and his voice is gone.
I see. Okay.
But and all that music that I used to make fun of, I now like when I'm mowing lawns and stuff, I put on Pandora on the 80s hairband station and I just let it go.
Is it the lyrics? Is it catchy? Is it?
It's just the music itself. Yeah. I guess it's the time that it reminds me of, I guess.
Like some nostalgia.
Yeah. And it makes me feel like I'm there again.
Yeah, that's nice. Say hi to Wild Bill. I imagine it will give people with fears of clowns the most terrifying nightmares. Yeah, I'm actually pretty scared of clowns. I'm not
Oh
gonna
well, then
lie.
I have a friend you should meet. He's a haunt actor. So
Right.
he does acting at the haunted houses and stuff. And he's part of a whole community called the Clown Cartel and stuff like that. And they're all haunt actors and they're horrifying. And my friend Chaos is his name. It's not his real name, but that's the name he goes by.
Right.
He's got like a real scary mask that he wears, and he has this whole character he plays while he has the mask on. But it's not far from his real self
Oh
when it comes
man.
down to it.
I think I'm good. I think I don't need that in my life.
Well, he's a good guy though.
But yeah,
He's a
yeah,
good.
totally.
We've
Pretty
helped each other a
scared.
lot.
Yeah. Oh, Slayer. Slayer, Iron
Slayer,
Maiden.
Iron Maiden. I got to see Iron Maiden live at an Ozfest, um, 2007, 2008, somewhere there. I had my back to the stage. I was talking to these guys. We were having a great time. And then all of a sudden, I heard Bruce Dickinson's voice and I went, "Excuse me." And they sounded on point. Like it was like the album. And they weren't lip syncing or anything. It was
Wow.
live. So that they still have it after all these years.
Oh, what a privilege. I'd love to see them live.
Yeah.
Nice. The 80s was all hair, Jeremy. You're right. Kiss. Do you like a
Yeah.
bit Kiss?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have a
Yeah.
friend of mine who's obsessed with them. He does like a local band here, cover bands.
Oh, nice.
But he doesn't do. I mean, he'll do a Kiss song once in a while, but they do
Right.
Queen, Styx, and oh my God, they're gonna kill me for not remembering.
I wonder who they
I think it is.
choose to be Gene Simmons. Like, you're
That.
gonna be Gene Simmons. Like, I guess
Well, I mean,
is he
they
the
don't.
bass player?
No, he's a guitar player.
He's like the lead
Yeah,
guitar, is
like
he?
Paul,
Right.
like Paul Stanley's part or whatever. But they, like I said, they'll just throw in a song here, like once in a blue moon, just as a
Yeah.
filler. But it's mainly, oh man, that's gonna bother me now. I have to look. It's Queen,
While
Styx.
while while you're looking, Tom, do you happen
Yes.
to have a high school picture with all the long hair, please? Says Jill.
Wow.
Just while you're there.
I have one on my Facebook that I'm in the background of, so you can kind of.
I'm still the old
Oh.
acid rock.
Queen, Boston, and Styx. That's who they do.
Oh, okay.
And they do it really well. The lead singer, he's really on point with his Queen songs. Like he sings really well. Is he Freddie Mercury? Hell no.
No.
But but he does very well with singing and can hold the tune. All right, my picture. Oh, I gotta find
Gene
it.
is the bass player.
Yeah.
Demon and Ozzy. Yes, Ozzy Osbourne, bless him. And Eric said it was sad to lose Meatloaf. Totally.
Oh, definitely.
Legend.
Yeah, I like Meatloaf a lot. He was cool.
Yeah.
Trying to find.
Oh, no worries. Yeah. It's really I feel like music's just changed so much now, hasn't it? Like all of these iconic people and bands, you know, I just feel like you're not gonna like there's such a difference between like Ozzy Osbourne and Taylor Swift, you know?
Well, yeah, just a bit. Especially now that Ozzy is kind of like losing his.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been losing his mental capacity for some time, but he's not that far gone that you could say that. Well, yeah, he's definitely lost it. Well, come on, Facebook locked up on me.
Queen, Boston Sex. Yeah,
there we go.
Huge fan of Queen. I actually have a Brian May special guitar.
Wow.
I absolutely love it. It's my pride and joy. I love Queen.
That's awesome. Queen has been a big band for me for quite a while. They just, I don't know, something about them spoke to me.
I think they were so clever in their songwriting because it just appealed to everybody. Like not one person couldn't relate to one of their songs. they were just so relatable. They were so iconic.
All right. I think I
Yes,
found it.
Jeremy, definitely. All of these movies about Queen and Elton and Aretha, definitely. Tom's
Okay.
seen Queen twice. Oh my gosh, I'm so
I
jealous.
am super jealous.
Wow.
When I got news that he died, I was very upset because I never got. It's like, man, now it's another band I'll never get to see
Oh,
completely. And then
right.
Jerry Garcia died. I'm like, well, I guess I'll never get to see the Grateful Dead either. All right.
Yeah. I'm really excited about seeing this picture with your hair because your hair's quite
Well,
long now, but I can't
it's like I said, I'm
imagine.
in the background, so it's kind of hard to see. There's a bunch of females in front of me.
Is there?
Yeah, I have it. It's down in where I am, like in the backstage area. You see another picture popped up,
Can't say I
like
have. No. Ah,
where,
yes, here it is.
yeah, there you go. So that's me in the back. Like I said, you can't really see, but I was
Which one
about
is you? I'm so sorry, but which one?
the one that you only see the head in the back.
Like right at the back.
Yeah,
No way.
yeah. I was about 17 there, I guess. So I
Oh my
just used to let
goodness.
the hair just sit wild. I didn't, because if I tried to brush it, it just like would puff out. But
Almost look like a Dave Mustaine.
yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, that's lovely. Did you
And
ever
now,
get mistaken from the back? Or
no.
like, no.
Well, I got mistaken from the back for a female.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh yeah,
Not-
yeah, I
not-
sure did.
not Dave.
I was working at a place here called Sam's Club, which is like a wholesale place, like a BJ's or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was stocking stuff, and from behind me, I heard, excuse me, miss. I just stopped and looked down. I'm like, turned around. There's the mustache. Like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm like, well, what's up?
Oh.
But yeah, it's happened.
Oh, don't worry. It happened to my dad as well. My dad had long hair when he was younger. It happened to him.
And so the poll is still going, and the long hair is still winning.
Yeah, so everyone who doesn't know, we're going to vote if Tom should cut his hair or not, or if he should grow it a bit longer. So let us know in the comments. Should he cut it? Should he just let it grow?
Let it grow. Let it grow.
Oh, look at you. That's crazy.
So this is a picture of a picture.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, you can see the face was a bit thinner then.
Yeah. Still got great hair though. Your hair's been.
It's not as wild as it used to be. I've tamed it a little more. But, I mean, it doesn't puff up on the top. Well, the hat helps too.
Oh. I think that must have happened a lot. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at the time when I had the hair, a lot of guys had long hair. It was the metal age.
Yeah.
It was people
it's
were
exciting.
doing it. Yeah.
You never know what you're gonna get.
Like from year to year, trends changed. We used to hang out at the mall around the corner from here, behind the arcade, because it was a huge arcade called the 49th Street Gallery. It was like 2 floors, had everything you could think of in there: bowling, skating, laser tag, all kinds of stuff.
They just don't have that stuff now, do they? Like, kids are missing out on this.
They turned it into a Burlington coat factory.
Great.
But you could still see the old structure. Like, they didn't change it. Like the way the architecture was and everything, you could still see it. You're like, yep, skating rink was over there. This was the pinball pit right here. And then you had that over there, and the SR2 machine over that way. And
I miss that so much.
Yeah.
Where are those days? It's just so sad. Even having birthday parties at like McDonald's,
Yeah.
in the 80s and 90s, like that was just great.
I remember in the 80s at McDonald's, they had like special kids seats that looked like a train.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Now you won't even find Ronald anywhere because they don't want to influence kids because it's bad, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That's what commercials were for.
Society is very different now. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's for the better or not, but
But
we
yet they
do
can
miss
bring
the
back the
80s.
Hamburglar. They just did
Yeah,
that on a commercial. It's like, wait, you could bring back the one that stole stuff, but not the wholesome one with the makeup?
that's very true. Oh, thank you, Q. Thanks for tuning in. That's so nice of you. Thank you.
Thanks for being here, Hugh.
Yeah, totally agree, Jill. Like, oh, that's just gone now. Like, kids are missing out nowadays, man. We need to
Yeah, their
bring
hangouts are on here.
arcades.
See, we
Yeah,
can do this now because we already did that then. So,
yeah. We got the best of both worlds, definitely.
yeah,
I'd like to move on a little bit,
sure.
Tom, to the paranormal side. I want to know if you have had any paranormal events that have happened to you where you've thought, okay, there must be something else, you know. You did speak about your uncle, kind of
Yeah.
that
He
side.
so I mean, and it's not necessarily paranormal with him as much as it is like things that happen to everybody. Like there'll be a certain song that reminds you of somebody, and then when you're missing them the most, it comes on or something like that. And that's
Yeah.
supposedly them letting you know that they're there. With my uncle, the song that represented him was the Steve Miller Band's "The Joker," because my
Oh,
dad always deemed that that was his song. And one time when he was here and we were all hanging out, um, I was sitting on the couch with them. My dad was on my left side, my uncle was on the right side, and we had just heard the Joker and we were talking about that. Then the one song came on from Steelers Wheels, I think their name is, called "Stuck in the Middle with You," or just "Stuck in the Middle." And
yeah.
in the chorus they say, "Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right," and that's where my uncle was sitting. And I figured, well, now my dad's the clown and he's the Joker. And now every time I hear one of those two songs, The Joker or Stuck in the Middle, I hear the other one the same day. So
No way.
I feel like that's his way of letting me know, that he's still around. But as far as paranormal, there's been a couple things that could be classified as that, but I don't have any proof.
Right.
One of which actually deals with the garden again.
Right.
So it was a rainy day. Nobody was in the park except for me. It's pouring down rain, and I'm there with my umbrella in the garden because I just felt like not being here. And I thought, I've never been in the park by myself, and maybe I will be today, and I was. Um, as I'm in the garden, I hear from the other corner of the garden what sounded like a man's voice. I'm looking around. I walk around the wall. There's nobody there. And then once I got to the corner where it was, I hear it in the other corner where I was. I'm like, what the hell is this? Am I going crazy?
Yeah.
And then I heard a woman's voice too. I couldn't hear what they were saying. It was just hearing the voice itself.
Yeah.
So I'd like to think that was the former owners of the estate, because this was all part of an estate called Sarobia,
Right.
named after the owners, Sarah and Robert, Sarob. So Sarob, and then just added
Yeah.
the IA at the end. And there was a mansion there, all kinds of buildings. There was an artist community that lived there for a while. They had a lot of famous people that would come by, famous worldwide at the time. And this is
Yeah.
going back about 100 years. So
Oh gosh, wow.
that's around the time that they were there most.
That's interesting. Did you say it was raining?
Yeah.
That's interesting because there's been a lot of correlation between white noise and having voices come through.
It was a
Yeah.
definite voice, but nobody was around me. So I thought, I don't know, maybe it was like a bullfrog or something. And I just heard it. And like I was trying to explain it away in my head.
Yeah. Because you do, like logically, you try
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. That's the logic side of my brain. Is like, no, it wasn't a ghost. There's no ghost. It was just
No.
this or whatever. But another time I was filming a video, which actually wound up being a two-parter. I was looking for a crypt that was an underground crypt that was in the wooded area where I started everything. Like somebody told me about it, so I went looking for it. And I couldn't find it the first day. But in that first day, as I was wandering in the back paths that I normally didn't go, heard clear as day behind me. I heard. I didn't want to turn around because I'm like, there's going to be some dude there with an axe just going. But I finally turn around. There's nobody there. And I was filming at the time, or recording. I want to say filming. That makes it sound like I actually have like reel to reel
No,
camera.
for sure.
I was recording
Yeah.
at the time. I went back and I listened to it when there, and I couldn't hear it. I said, well, maybe when I get home, I got the earbuds in, I'll be able to hear it. It's not there, but it was like somebody was literally right behind me, clear as a bell.
What?
Don't know what that was,
That's so weird.
and never really been able to explain it or explain why it's not on the video.
Yeah, yeah.
And I even said it in the video, like, you see me just stop. I'm like, I don't know if you guys heard that, but I just heard a whistle.
That's so weird, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of frustrating because you kind of think, oh, am I just going insane? Like, did I just imagine that?
Which is likely, you know, it could
Yeah.
happen. Living the life
No.
I live. It could happen.
No, I think lots of people have had experiences like that, but they just put it down to like, oh, just imagined it, or,
Yeah.
thinking about something else. But I think when it shocks you like that, that's
Yeah.
when it becomes a bit more unexplained.
Oh, definitely. And it's, I mean, other than that, it's just been like things here in the house. Like I'll hear what sounds like a woman's voice. Like I figure somebody's down there talking to my dad, like my sister or something. And I go down there and he's just sleeping. I'm like,
What?
okay. Other times I'll hear his voice call my name. And I'll go down and I'll look at him and he'll go, what? I said, you just called me. He said, no, I didn't.
And he's not
I said,
winding you up.
No.
No.
And I said, you didn't hear that at all. He said, no.
Oh, that's weird.
All
Oh,
right.
man. Is your house haunted, or do you
Not
have
that I know of.
anything?
I mean, it's
No.
not that old. There was only one previous owner, and he didn't die here.
Right.
He was living here by himself before we bought it. He got divorced, and his wife left with the kids and all that. And she left
Right.
him here with like one plate, one fork, one spoon, one knife, one chair.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. So, but nobody's passed in the house. I mean, around us, there's been people that passed away in
Yeah.
various different houses, but I wouldn't say it's haunted. I never felt that way.
No.
No, never felt uneasy.
That's interesting. Maybe it's just like somebody, a family member or something, could come out. You just
Could be.
never know, do you? Or you're just going insane, Tom.
It could be.
No.
And I could be, because there are times like a lot of things will happen to me like in a single small period of time. Like I'll be picking clothes up out of the dryer and the same sock will drop like 5 times. And I think, man, somebody's on the other side just pulling that out and dropping it and laughing hysterically. And there comes times where I'm like, that's it. Stop messing with me.
And does it stop?
No.
No. Oh, I
No,
wonder
I've
if-
had
yeah.
some friends that passed away who thought things like that were funny. So maybe it's them.
It could be. It
Yeah.
could be. I bet they're having a right giggle.
Oh yeah, always did at my expense.
Let me just catch up with the comments. We've got
Oh,
lots
yeah.
and lots of engagement about the paranormal side. So, what got Tom into his newer explorer side? What led you to that newer explorer side? Is it different?
Well, like I said, I mean, at one point it did change a little.
Right.
Like I felt like I was better at taking the videos, at editing and things like that.
Yeah. So just like natural progression
Yeah.
and developing and getting your own style in there.
But as far as being an explorer itself, it's just always been there. I always liked walking around in wooded areas and stuff. I didn't like
Aw.
being lost, but now it's impossible to get lost because we all have
That-
GPS.
Yeah, which is probably more of a blessing than a curse, I have to admit, with GPS, definitely.
Yeah. I actually got lost today at the park, which never, ever, ever happens. I went looking for something that I was taking video of, and because there
Right.
was snow everywhere, I got a little turned around. I'm like, oh my God, I don't see
Oh,
the
no
path
way.
anymore.
It's snowing in Philly, is it?
Oh, it was. Yeah.
It was.
It started overnight sometime, and it snowed a good amount, but it was white, fluffy snow. So a lot of
Right.
it's already gone.
Right.
So-
Right.
But at the
Yeah.
time, it was everywhere, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm lost. I've never been lost in this park in my entire
Oh, that's
time here.
scary.
And so I
Yeah.
had to turn on the GPS, but then because the snow was on the trees and it was warming up, the snow kept falling on the phone and hit different options on there and taking me off the screen. So I was getting very frustrated. I had to put the heavy coat I had on over me and just like kind of walk like this.
I do a
And
coat tent. Coat
yeah,
tent.
I needed it.
Yeah. Oh, and it's always like so quiet, isn't it? With snow on the ground, it just
Oh,
feels
yeah.
like eerily quiet, doesn't it? Because it
I
just
love it.
dampens the sound. Yeah. And then Chris said about the rain. Yeah, like rain can help with white noise and unknown voices coming through, that kind of stuff. Jeremy said Richard Marx in concert. Oh, have fun, Jeremy.
Wow. I didn't know he was still doing concerts.
That's cool. Oh, hi Irene, how are you doing?
Hi,
Thank you for
Irene.
watching. Oh, sorry, I've just skipped through. I've heard my grandpa say my name last year. He's been dead over 10 years. Oh my goodness, wow.
That's crazy.
That's so nice though, like to hear him say your name, like that's lovely. I wish
Yeah.
I
Yeah, he was the fourth brother. There was Harpo, Zeppo, Groucho, and Richard.
uh
No, he wasn't really.
here's one of them. Yeah. Um You are Claire. I think that's supposed to be clairvoyant, Tom, or
Clairaudient.
clairaudient. Sorry.
Yeah, so that you hear
Yeah.
voices.
Oh, could be.
Hmm,
You should totally look into that.
maybe. But that would be crazy if, like, I unlock something and then they just don't leave me alone nonstop, like,
Yeah.
wanting me to do things and say things. I don't know. I don't know if I want to unlock that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That could be a fine line, right?
Yeah. Plus, my friends who passed away would be using it to their advantage, scaring the crap out of me always.
Oh, Eileen said something nice. She said, Tom, your house is protected and you are cared for in your home. That's
Well,
lovely.
thank you. That's nice to hear.
Oh, see, you're protected. You're not going crazy.
Well, I try not to.
Jeremy's talking about the concert. No, but his sons are all three of them. Have a unique family curse. Goes back like 5 generations on each side. Last born dies first in each generation. I'm the last born of our generation. Oh
Mm.
my goodness, that's horrendous. Is there a way that you can lift curses? I mean,
You would think.
that sounds stressful and awful. Sorry to hear that. So it got me wondering, thinking when I heard it.
Yeah, sometimes I've
No.
wondered in my life, like, I mean, is there some kind of dark cloud over me or something? I mean, not lately, but there's been times.
Yeah, sure, sure. No, it is interesting. Like, I love hearing about people's paranormal experiences and stories because basically every person I've ever spoken to has had something happen in their life where it's been unexplained or just a massive coincidence. So it does make you think. It really does. It's so
Yeah, it sure does.
interesting. Well, tell your parents to get busy.
For a second, I thought he was talking to me. I was going to say, well, first off, that ain't ever going to happen. They've been separated a long time.
Yeah.
And secondly, it can't happen because, well, mom had a hysterectomy. So,
Oh.
plus, they're both 75 years old. So I don't,
No,
you
just
know,
let's not go there. I had heart issues, Pop Mary. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Chris. Oh, I hope it's okay though.
yeah, I hope everything's good now.
Possibly, yeah. Wow, that was a lot, Tom. Thank you so much.
Oh, no problem.
The last question is, have you ever been on a paranormal investigation before? Would you like to do one?
I kind of have been on one. It was just me and a friend of mine quite a few years ago. It was before cell phones, and I had a digital audio recorder, but it was not the kind that you could plug into a computer and download from. But you could hear it through there. Um,
Right.
and we went to this place, which I actually covered in a couple of videos that I did. it's called a potter's field, which what a potter's field is or was a place where they would bury the dead that had nobody claimed them. Like they had no
Oh,
family or anything like that.
right.
And we went to this one in particular because there was a lot of people that had lived in the state hospital that was not far from there, Byberry Mental Hospital, Philadelphia State Hospital. It was known by a few names, and they were buried in this place. So we decided to go there and use the audio recorder and see what we could get. I never got it back from her, but
Oh,
you could clearly hear the word nurse like at least 5 times.
wow.
Something that sounded like a yelling in the distance, which we didn't hear any of this when we were there. And there was a
No.
couple other little minor things that I don't really remember because it's been a while. But that was as close as I've gotten to being part of an investigation. Would I go on one? Sure.
Yeah.
I don't see why not. And I know plenty of places to go to. We have a place locally here that a lot of the paranormal teams have gone to, Selma Mansion, which is in Norristown. There's one that I did a video on that they do host some investigations. Like they'll invite people in there called Playwiki Farm, which is pretty old. Um,
Hmm.
the farm goes back to I think like the 1700s,
Oh
something like that.
man, that's old. Yeah.
And they have like an old lime kiln on the property and stuff. Like there's not much of
Right.
it left, but it's still there and it's buried in the woods behind it.
Wow.
I did videos on all these things, but I got privileged enough that when I went to go do Playwiki Farm, there was a woman that volunteers there or she works there. I'm not sure which it is, but she was doing something, getting ready for something, and she asked, what I was doing filming. She said, "It's okay, you're allowed." She said, "I'm just curious," and I
Yeah.
explained what I was doing. She said, "Well, do you want to tour the inside?" I said, "For the video?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "Oh, sure." So we went in, and it was great. I didn't get to
Yeah.
see the second floor, but still, it was,
Oh, that's
it
so
was a nice
nice of
place.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think with exploring, I think it does kind of come naturally because I have watched a lot of exploring videos with various YouTubers,
Mm.
and they do accidentally come across stuff that's paranormal, like a light
Yeah.
bulb will just shatter into 1,000 pieces, or there's a disembodied voice or something, and it's like, oh, okay,
And then it's
that's
just like,
weird.
okay, well, that's weird.
Yeah, it's like carry on.
Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah, so that's cool. Do you have any future plans for your channel? I know that Jill has asked, what is your dream place to explore someday?
mm,
What are the plans for the future?
well, I would love to expand and go to different areas of like the country, maybe even of the world, but that's going to take some time because I don't make enough money to do that. So I would have to blow up a little bit on YouTube and start being able to get to the point where I can make like almost a second salary off of that,
Yeah,
and then maybe have the time to take off from work, or if I got paid enough, I could just not work, and that would be my job. A lot of YouTubers do that.
that would be
Um,
great if you could really
that would be
seriously
awesome.
like monetize it. Yeah.
There's plenty of places like I want to get into filming locations, like I could do some here. Rocky was filmed here, of course. I don't
Yeah.
want to do that because a million people have done that on their YouTube channel when they came through here. Um, tw- uh, what was it? 12 Monkeys was filmed here mostly.
Right.
Um, I could go around to those locations, but some of them aren't in really good neighborhoods.
Hmm.
But like I'd like to go to other states where there were filming locations or significant history.
That would be
Um,
good.
Here
Yeah.
in PA, in the area known as the Poconos, Jim Thorpe area to be specific, there's a whole history of some Irish. I guess they were slaves at some point, and it's
Right.
called the Molly Maguires.
Right.
And there's a whole deep story, rabbit hole type story that happens, and there's a lot of locations of that up there. I do plan on doing that at some point.
Oh,
Stephanie and I had
nice.
talked about that when we were up that way, and it spans a lot of miles, all the different locations,
Yeah.
but it could be a lot of different videos, like a whole series of them.
Sure. And
Um,
Stephanie is your partner, right?
yes, yes. I've been
That'd
with
be great.
Stephanie for about 2.5 years now. We've known each other since I was about 16, so about a
Oh,
year
that's so
before that picture I
sweet.
showed you.
It was
And
the hair.
yeah, well, back then I had a serious crush on her. Um, she's the reason why I had a thing for redheads. But to
Oh,
me at the time, it's like my self esteem wasn't really anywhere on this. Like I felt here, and everybody else was up here, especially females. And with her, I just felt no, she's too hot. That's just never going to happen. So don't even try. But
oh,
years and years later, we talked as adults. Sometime within the last like 8 or 9 years, and I opened up and told her I always had a thing for her. She had a thing for me, but I was with somebody at the time,
oh, that's
and
sweet.
then we just kind of hooked up back like 2 years ago. So like August of 21, right around same time I started at the park. That was a really
Yeah.
really good month for me.
Oh, wow. Yeah. See, that's another coincidence, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
and
that's lovely. That's
she's
so sweet.
had me going traveling to different places that I normally wouldn't do,
Yeah.
but I have fun.
Yeah, that's the
So
most important
yeah,
thing. Having fun with it, definitely.
she's
Um,
insistent that one time when we go to Atlantic City, she's going to get me up in the lighthouse that they have there. And the lighthouse just has a spiral staircase that goes around the whole thing, and it's just
wow.
metal stairs, like you could see right through them, like they got holes in them. So I said, I don't know about that. I have a fear of heights, so
Yeah, I feel you.
but
I could not do that. I think I would throw up.
but that could be part of the hook on the video. I'm facing
That's
my
true.
fears.
Yeah, that's true. You can do it, Tom. You should do it. Definitely. Just don't look down. Just,
Yeah, wow,
yeah.
can't just look up while I walk.
Yeah. You could run up the lighthouse stairs like Rocky. There we go.
Oh
Instead of
yeah,
doing the Rocky stairs.
yeah. They're
Yeah,
they're hard to run up the way he did that because they're really wide stairs.
that's true.
You have
And
to have
then
some momentum going.
yeah, yeah, you have to be fit. I'm definitely not that fit. I'll get up like
I'm not.
just a few and I'll be like, hey, I'm done. Thanks.
I have a belly on me, despite the fact that I work outside and stuff and do a lot of physical work. I do have a belly. I don't know why. Um, there's some reason for it that just totally escapes me right now. Can't be the beer.
Oh, hi, Charles. Thank you for
Hey,
tuning
Charles.
in from Texas. Nice.
Wow.
Gotta
They say everything's
play, gonna
bigger
fly
there.
now while you run up them. Gotta play, gonna fly now while
I'm
you
gonna
run up.
fly now while you
Nice.
run up.
Chris has got it all planned out, look.
There you go.
Nice. Well, let's wrap it up there, Tom. I
Yes.
want
Yeah,
to
it's been over an
say,
hour.
yeah, I just want to say thank you to everybody for tuning in and
Definitely.
commenting. It's been amazing. Thank you so, so much, Tom, from This is Tom's World. Go and check him out on YouTube. He's got amazing videos on there and they're just really, really fun to watch, really nice. Also relaxing. You can just put it on and just go for a walk with Tom while
Yep.
he looks at all the history, and it's really, really great. And best of luck with the future. I can't wait
Thank
to
you.
see the channel grow.
Yeah.
And you've got
I
your
got
own
merch too, by
merch.
the way.
Yeah, got all your own merch. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Chris. This was great. We definitely have to do another show, Tom.
That'd be
Definitely
cool.
at some point. It's been really, really great. Just one big shout out to Catherine, my cousin, who's watching. She's in Minnesota and it's her birthday today. So happy
Happy birthday.
birthday. And also to my dad in the UK, he's watching. Big shout out to him. And would you like to do any shout outs, Tom?
Um, well, just to the guys at Things Network and the Fear fans, people like you and everybody else, and BB3 TV. You can check that out. We do have some paranormal shows on there. At one point, we were all paranormal. We're kind of trying to do variety now, but there are a couple paranormal shows on there. Bobby Gallows has some awesome videos on there. Got to check it out.
Or
To the beer maker, to Molson. Molson, if you'd like to sponsor my channel, please feel free. You can contact me. My contacts are on there.
So true. Yeah. Big thank you to the other dimension, Ben and Lou. Thank you so much. And Things Network, Jeremy, everybody, thank you so, so much. We really appreciate it. And we will see you soon. for another Got Stories to Tell very soon. Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
We'll say bye.
See ya.
Bye.